All right, homies. What's up, everybody? The Khaiza's back. Hold on. Once again. Hold up. There you go. Wait for the music. Wait for the music, my boys. Wait for the music. What's up, homies? The Khaiza is back. The Khaiza's back once again. Hey, where's my soundboard for this shit? Yo, what's up, homies? What's up, everybody? The Khaiza is back. The Khaiza is back. Yeah, we're streaming like 1 hour early today. Yeah, because yes, last night was such like I wouldn't really call it like a mess. I wouldn't really call it a mess, but rather it just felt so like so scrambly. It felt so scrambly because, like, man, I was, oh, damn. Like, why is, like, Twitch not working? Hold on. I'm experiencing, like, some, what was it? Internet stuff with my PS5. Maybe I should change to a different, connection. Where's, Farland 5? Yeah. Hold on. And now here, there's gonna be another mess. Connecting to access point. Connecting to the internet. Alright, good. Okay, good. Alright, we just changed networks. It's totally fine now. Alright, but what's up, homies? The Khaiza is back. The Khaiza's back once again. Yeah, yesterday was, I would say, not really like a mess, but yeah, we started late. Well, we started at 7, but the PS5 overheated, so we had to do like some parts of the Temple of the Ancients over again. And then, of course, like, my cousins called me, which is, you know, I'm not that miffed about because I always love calling my cousins from Bangladesh. It's totally fine. But, yeah, it's, like, I had to, like, do so much stuff, and I didn't, like, cover, like, everything. I just felt like everything was, like, sloppy from last night. But still, though. I mean, we got, like, some shit done, and there was, like, some more news that we didn't, like, technically cover on yesterday. But we're gonna be redeeming ourselves and covering today, you know? So today we're gonna be, talking about the new Virtua Fighter. We're gonna be talking about, some more info from the guys that hosted the Virtua Fighter, Direct that happened on the Game Awards. They got a lot of like juicy intel for their plans for the next Virtua Fighter. And then afterwards, we're going to be continuing up Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We're going to be playing the Temple of the Ancients, right? Hopefully, inshallah, we can finish it up, right? Because, man, we didn't get to finish it up last night because, again, the PS5 and then my cousin's calling, so, you know. Hopefully we get to, like, finish it tonight, and, yeah, that should be the end, that should be the objectives, the main, like, the lectures for today's stream, right? So, yeah, we're just gonna be doing that. Ow, my beard is itchy. Wow. Also a little bit tired today, homies. Forgive me because yeah, Mom and I went out today just to get like some food and some other requests from my grandpa and grandma from my dad's side of the family. We'll be staying over there for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, so we're just like getting food for them. And yeah, we're only staying over there because, like, my cousin, who has a family and has 2 daughters, who are my nieces, are going to be going to California. Not California, sorry. They're going to be going to Florida today because, yeah, just for a little like short vacation sort of thing. So we've been tasked to just go over to my cousin's house where my grandpa and grandma are, and we're just gonna accompany them for like about 2 days until my cousin comes back, right? So begrudgingly, I don't like want to go, but you know, I mean, I just don't. I just don't want to, you know. It's such a like a pain in the ass, but I have to anyway, you know. That's the unfortunate part. Hi to everybody on YouTube though. What's up everybody on YouTube? Hope y'all are doing okay, you know. We are back once again. We're gonna be playing some more oh, that's my live dashboard, sorry. We're going to be playing some more FF7, and we're going to be talking about Virtua Fighter, right? There was an interesting article that came out by Famitsu. It's kind of like a Japanese gaming news base, and there was like an interview from an interviewee talking to the devs for the new Virtua Fighter. So we're going to be taking a look at that and see how they're doing the new Virtua Fighter, right? So let me just like bring this tab like over here and bring this other tab over here, right? Yeah, so we're gonna be doing that, homies. And let me just like bring it down. I already have like the article up, but yeah, that's gonna be the objective for today. And yeah, we're also gonna be talking about like some other news that has transpired that we didn't get to like cover yesterday because we're trying to be like scarce for like time and like stuff like that, you know, right? So let's get on to it, right? Let's get on to it. Let's see. Ouchie, man, my beard fucking hurts, man. I don't know what's going on. First let's check out channel points, see if everything is like working out correctly. Alright, lurking the stream. That works. Alright, we also got motivated.
Now I'm a little motivated.
Alright, everything is working correctly, right? That's pretty good. I like it. Man, I don't know what's going on with like my my Twitch on PS5. It's always like loading up. Damn, like Wi-Fi. If I put on like what was it, CEO Taku? What's CEO Taku doing? Oh yeah, CEO Taku is like running today. Yeah, it's like CEO Gaming, like the California tournament, but for mostly just like anime games. I know they like included like Tekken and Street Fighter. But wow, okay, that's pretty cool. I think like top I think like what was it, pools are still going on right now. I know Tampa Never Sleeps is hosting CEO Taku, CEO Gaming is hosting Guilty Gear Strive, Juicy Game Night is hosting Super Smash Brothers, right? That's pretty sick. Oh, maybe because like I have high bitrate that it's trying to like load up, but it shouldn't be the case, you know. Well, let's see, right? All right, let's go like cover up some old news that we didn't cover last night, right? Let's get right to it. First is this one. We actually got a trailer for the new Superman movie, directed and headed by James Gunn, right? Everybody knows James Gunn, who has done not just in Marvel but DC as well. James Gunn did all three Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and he did the recent, well, not recent by like, you know, this year, but he did the recent Suicide Squad, and he also directed the Peacemaker TV show on HBO. So we heard about news that James Gunn is going to be directing a Superman movie, and it's going to have like a new actor going to be taking on the red, yellow, and blue mantle that is, you know, Superman. He's going to be, you know, Clark Kent. It's going to be who? David Coruscant? David Coruscant? A lot of people initially didn't like that idea because, you know, DC is not going to have back like Henry Cavill. After all, like the fuckery that happened with like the Zack Snyder universe. But it was announced that James Gunn is going to do like a new Superman movie. I'm not a big like Superman kind of guy. I just thought like he's kind of like, you know, boring. You know, he's your average typical like, you know, superhero from like ye old days. Yeah, just like super invincible, right? Things like that. Heat vision, X-ray, super breath, super speed, things like that. The American Boy Scout of DC Comics. I always preferred more Batman or the Flash. More about those characters than like Superman. But and maybe because I didn't like him because of like the Injustice like storyline that they made him like a dictator, you know? Like after like what happened with like, you know, Lois and that shit in the Injustice timeline, is like, man, I hate Superman. Fucking asshole, bro. But I heard a lot of people got excited from watching like the trailer. Let's go see it. Oh, what the hell? Yeah, and this is what got a lot of people talking on social media. This creepo, Nathan Fillion, is going to be Green Lantern. But not the Jon Stewart or the Hal Jordan Green Lantern. No. This is going to be Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner is like another Green Lantern from the Green Lantern Corps, if I remember correctly, and he's kind of like a douchebag. He's an arrogant, blow-hearted asshole with a shitty fucking haircut. Hence the shitty fucking haircut in here, like look, this fucking like bowl cut. We also got like Hawk Girl, some random monster. Oh, Fortress of Solitude shit? I don't know what this is. And Crypto the Super Dog, right? We didn't get to see it before, right? Where is he? Yeah, Crypto. I don't know much about Crypto in comic book lore, but I remember there was a bomb ass show, like in a good way, not like in a fail way, but there was like the Crypto the Super Dog, Crypto the Super Dog, up and away, or some shit. I remember the theme song for that shit a lot. And I remember there was a fucking animated Crypto the Super Dog movie, and it was like Dwayne Johnson as Crypto, Kevin Hart as like Bruce Wayne's dog, Batman's dog. I didn't get to see that. It looks interesting.
Crypto. Home.
CG dog.
Take me home.
Right? Yeah, the way it like moves and stuff. The way Crypto moves and stuff. Mr. Terrific, I think. Yeah, July 11th is going to be Superman. And it's going to be part of like what was it? DC Studios. So DC Studios is going to be like a new logo, or it's going to be like a new sub company that's going to be like in their way like a second attempt at MCU. Is that what I'm getting at? Yeah, that's like the new like logo. They don't call it like DC Unlimited Universe, the DCU. something like that. So maybe, maybe. I mean, DC is kind of like in like a road to redemption. I know a lot of people were praising mad high about the Penguin TV show, right, for the Matt Reeves Batman. And we got reports that Batman Part 2 is going to take place after Batman Part 1 with what happened with like the Riddler and shit like that. I don't know who's going to be like the villain of the next one, but from what I saw, the logo of Matt Reeves Batman, it looked blue, so probably Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze is going to be back or like making a reappearance after like what, Batman and Robin or Batman Forever, something like that. But the trailer looks good. It looks really sick, right? I'm color me impressed, and if it's got like James Gunn in there, sign me up. You know, I still think like, you know, DC did like Henry Cavill a little bit of like a disservice and injustice, you know. To me, I feel like, you know, I'm not saying that like, you know, this new actor for Superman is, you know, bad. I just have yet to see him. What roles did he did? David Cornsweat. Cornsweat is his name, yeah. David Cornsweat. Right? Kind of like a new actor, right? He was in A State of Affairs. Oh, he was in Twisters. Wow. Pearl? Oh, he was in Pearl? Oh shit, that's cool. But he's like a new gen actor. Right? So, yeah. Gonna be pretty cool. David Coruscant, Rachel, Nicholas Hoult, Mr. Terrific, Anthony Carrigan, Nathan Fillion, Isabel Merced. Yeah. Alan Tudyk? Alan Tudyk? Oh wow, that's cool. So I don't know much about like this new actor, right? I'm only saying that like because I'm only saying like for Henry Cavill because like that's like the most recent one. And I think he still did like a good job, right? Henry Cavill's like Superman was pretty good, albeit, you know, the story for the Zack Snyderverse was a little bit, you know, off, right? I mean, I'm not like, I think they were just trying to like in that time space, the DCU, right, was trying to emulate and copy the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it just wasn't hitting it off. You know, there was just so many like, it was just so many like flops, and like the actors were dealing like with their own shit. You know, what was it? Ben Affleck was like, he was not a bad Batman, but like he was dealing with his own problems. And then there was Ezra Miller, who's a known fucking like psychopath in my eyes on all the bullshit that he was like doing in his IRL life. And Gal Gadot, right, who's the actor for Wonder Woman. I know she was caught in some like bullshit or something. Jason Momoa technically is like the only one that was reprising his role as Aquaman, but yeah, it's still like off. Cyborg, I don't know what the fuck they were doing like Cyborg. They just like cut him off right there. But yeah, the live action did not do anything too wow or spectacular. They didn't find a formula like Marvel did. Marvel just has like a formula that works. But out of like all of like those like movies, I think like Henry Cavill's like Superman was like a good like portrayal. It just, you know, it was just the era of those movies that were coming out and like the choices that were made there. It was just so like baffling. It was so baffling that, yeah, it felt like a little bit off that those movies were made. They didn't have any sense of direction. That's what they are. So I'm hoping, right? I want to be optimistic for this actor, for this guy David Corenswet, right? I hope he does like a good job as Superman. His like, you know, his portrayal as Superman Clark Kent looks really good, right? How he like looks like, you know, Superman Clark Kent, right? Kal-El, things like that. So yeah, I want to be optimistic. Now the second one is Fatal Fury. Fatal Fury got like a new trailer, right? And this was all because of oh god. Thank god it's mute. Skip please. This is all because what was it? SNK, right? Oh my god. I don't want to see my stream. Get out of here. This is all because where's SNK? SNK is having their what was it? SNK Championship tournament going on not right now. It's happening in China, right? This is like top 16 to top 8 going on. So right now all of the prolific KOF players are in Shanghai right now. There's ET, there's Zhao Hai, there's Madkoff, there's Sanhua M Dash, right? So many like KOF killers are out here in Shanghai competing for the grand prize of being the best KOF 15 champion. But there was going to be like an announcement of more Fatal Fury info, and we got a new trailer, and it's Gato. And I made like a quick little like reaction as soon as I got up from bed. As soon as I woke up from bed. Yeah, this Gato coming back, I would predicted this, but damn, Gato fucking handsome. Gato's handsome. Yeah, he's got like a new look. He's got like longer hair. He's still doing Gato shit. Like I remember this bitch from KOF 15. And then OTG kick. Right. Oof. With this. He's got the neck snap. I hunger. I hunt. Yeah, but Gato looks good, right? Apparently his lore in this new Fatal Fury is that his eyes were injured by his father, who he thought was like long dead by some like bandits or some like evil organization. That's why in the OG Garo, that's why Gato is the way he is that he's hunting for the assholes that like technically murdered his master / father, until his like father like is somehow like alive, working with like Kane, and now Gato is like, his eyes are injured, but he chooses to be blind. He is a blind kung fu master kung fu martial artist. Sorry, not master. And he's on the hunt again. He will be joining up this year's King of not King of Fighters. Yeah, it is King of Fighters tournament, right? Is it King of Fighters? Yeah, King of Fighters. He will be joining up this year's King of Fighters tournament on the hunt for his father now and bring him to, you know, vengeance, justice sort of shit. Yeah, but I dig like Gato here in this redesign. He's longer, he's wilder, he's much more like handsome. Like, I can't believe I said that, right? Like, he's handsome. God damn. I think it's because of like the what was it? The goatee. Like, characters are like aging up, you know? No longer are we like little babies. Yeah, we're grown-ass men. But Gato doing Gato shit, right? He's got like some interesting changes. Like, he's got like a stance now. Like in here. Like these like swipey dragon claws. And then he like reverts back to like neutral or some shit. It looks like he has a stance. Or that could be just like breaking. Yep. Rev mode shit. Yeah, I remember that. Hoi, hoi. And then the neck break. Ooh, bitch. Ooh, bitch. But yeah, Gato is definitely fiercer than before, right? And yeah, that's kind of like hardcore now that I like think about it, you know? Him like choosing to be blind after the eye injury, right? That's some like hardcore metal ass shit, you know? And yeah, man, Fatal Fury is going to be coming out April 24th, man. It's crazy that we're like in December and we're going to be 4 months away. 4 months away from Fatal Fury. It's insane how time flies by so fucking quickly. Like, I can't believe, man, we're gonna be soon getting Fatal Fury like in our hands. So it will be like, welcome Fatal Fury, goodbye KOF 15, you know? KOF 15 was like a, you know, a fun ride. But you know, we have to welcome the newcomers and give them a chance to shine. Instead of just like playing favorites or just like stubbornly keeping the old guard. I know King of Fighters 15 got like a update pack, right? Characters got like buffed, but still though, I saw like Benimaru's. There's like I saw like the data usage of players using like certain characters for this like tournament, at least like in day one. 8 Benimarus, 8 Islas, nothing has changed, you know? Nothing has changed. Yeah, see, we already got like an Isla right here. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? You know? So it feels like we're playing the same old like KOF. Ah, right here. Oh, the SNK stream sounds like a little bit low. Damn. You can barely hear this shit, homies. Is everything like okay? Yeah, there's another Benimaru right there. Right? Nothing has changed. The future has not been forsaken. The future is forsaken, sorry. There's a Ralph I see and Vanessa. But I think this is all what, like top 16? Yeah, this is all like top 16 sort of shit. Oh man. But anyway, okay, so I think like that's it. Oh, and Juicy Game Night. Let's see what they got going on.
Khaiza trying to go for the slash kick, and Reflex wakes up with the hop
Top
kick.
48 hells. Oh, there's a Heihachi versus Law.
Uh-oh.
Ah, god damn it, Law. You goddamn asshole. You privileged bitch. Come on, Heihachi, get up. Show him you're the king of Iron Fist. Warrior! Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
With once again, the tried and true, the nunchuck.
He activated Warrior's Instinct for nothing. Activated Warrior's Instinct for nothing.
Sidestep after he knew he was
God damn it.
for something immediate after just
but like I said, CEO Otaku is like going on right now.
Out here,
Tencent, Tenno Media, Tencent,
and they walk right into your hitbox.
Okami HD.
Immediately goes for the stage select, as you should, by the way, and just not icing as we
Yeah,
saw
Juicy Game Night is also hosting CEO Otaku, and they're playing Super Smash Brothers.
Like you really need to keep that wrist warm, especially for all those wave dash movements. Nice interrupt right there with the jabs.
Yeah, Khaiza also trying to get the offense call out with the back one plus Tsubaki, but Reflex is
Todia!
not flinching. But oh man, when it comes to Reflex and these down forward twos, he's such a good job making those placements.
He's very lucky that that wasn't floated right there. Okay, blocks the heat burst, and then the walk from Khaiza into the heat smash, chopping him down.
And chopping him, yeah! Fucking Heihachi, let's fucking go. Utilize that heat, utilize those plus frames.
That was really
Ooh!
Thank you.
I should be incorporating that as my Heihachi. He also has a stance into like grab.
Ooh, nice backdash into the
Uh-oh, dragon kick. Oh no.
No, why is nobody launching flash?
Oh, okay. Hell kick or axle kick.
Punishing 1-1-2 with a 1-1-2.
Jiga Tariruwa!
Kill him for that, leaving you back open. Back
Shiri Sanse!
That's crazy, dude. 30 seconds to play. Reflex realizing the situation, activating heat, and Khaiza tried the
Oh my god, the Ashi!
But he didn't get
He jumped over the fucking low.
like that. Khaiza using
Ooh,
the
okay.
forward one, keeping it tight with the small Tekken and keeping it all.
Alright, Heihachi's got two now.
Ooh,
He just has to activate heat once again.
Dragging
Oh!
you over to this wall. Not quite getting the splat though. Huge amount of pressure, but the parry.
But the parry.
Using the crouch dash to stay on Reflex's ass.
Oh!
Oh my god, sidestep into the back four! Something! Uh-oh.
Jeez. When Heihachi goes in, Heihachi goes in. That's the power of this character.
Like that, I was just. You'll make another one, right?
You know?
You didn't
When he's
really
got
want
all
this
three and Warrior's Instinct, oh my god, he's a menace. The old man is pissed. Alright, but anyway.
Sheesh.
Alright, but let me just put on some music for y'all. Let's just head right into it. Oh, by the way, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is out. Well, the Beyond pack is out. So let me just like open up my Twitter. Hopefully nothing too dank. Just go straight to my profile. What was it? Likes? Was it likes? Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. By the way, also the other news. From the 10th of like December back in like 2018, like a huge spike to like over like here. Now we have like all-time peak of like 3,000 players because of the 3.5 thousand mod players playing MVCI, and all because of the mod pack.
Look, because they're coming back. Look, because they're coming back.
They're coming back. Yeah, all because of the MVCI mod. The Beyond free mod is out now. So yeah, it's finally here. The download links are right here. You could choose either Mediafire or Nexus mods, and they have facts of how to like install the mods, how to play like the new game modes, cross frenzy, single cross frenzy, cross fever. Right? Balance updates, no balance changes, mods or fixes, bugs or fixes. Sorry, bugs or fixes. Yeah, it's finally here, man. And there's an installation tutorial guide here. right? So yeah, MVCI is getting like a fan love, sweat and tears mod by the community, by the developers that love MVCI. I still have it right here. I can open it up and show y'all, but we got like some jobs to do though. We'll probably play MVCI another time. But to get MVCI itself, you need to get the deluxe edition, which is not bad of a fucking steal. It's literally like $12, so if you can pay $12 to get like the mod pack, then please go do it. Go support this game, right? Even though it's like it's been 6 years or 7 years at this point. But go get like the mod pack. Go get the game first with the deluxe edition, and you could go get the like the mod pack, and you are just in for a fun like time with like up-res textures, up-res graphics, right? Everything about this game is like upped in like quality now because of fan modding. You know? No like characters, no extra characters because of, from what I've heard, like security reasons by Capcom, but you get balance changes, you get like cool like single player content, like grab all your homies for couch co-op, or even like couch parsec, and you can just play against 3 of your other friends and just play MVCI the way it's supposed to be. Have fun. But yeah, the mod is out. Please go like get it, homies. You'd be doing like us MVC fans like a huge solid and give like MVCI a second chance. Right? But anyway, let me just like get some like music for y'all. Battle Hub theme, right? Alright. So let's play this and let's go talk about this actually, let me restart and try this out. So let's go talk about this new let's go talk about some Virtua Fighter content, right? We had like a whole slew of Virtua Fighter content after the Game Awards, right? With the new Virtua Fighter like teaser that dropped on that day. And we also had a Virtua Fighter Direct talking about like the legacy and the impact Virtua Fighter had on the, not just like FGC, but you know, just all around. It was cutting edge, it was, you know, crazy and just cutting edge back in the day when Virtua Fighter dropped. So we have this like little article from Famitsu about what's the new Virtua Fighter. Interview with Sega's Ryuga Gotoku, that's the Yakuza devs studio, with Yokoyama and Yamada-san. And they had some pretty peculiar things to say about the new VF on top of like, you know, how much of a pioneering like piece that Virtua Fighter really is, right? So what was your first goal starting with this project? Can we catch up? It's challenging on the same level. Can I like Street Fighter? Let me restart. So what's your goal when starting the new Virtua Fighter project? We asked like Yamada and Yokoyama. Fighting games are becoming popular again, but this didn't happen suddenly. Tekken and Street Fighter series have built up a lot over the past decade. Can we catch up by challenging them on the same level? Virtua Fighter is a series based on fighting games. So that was like the big goal, is like, you know, Virtua Fighter has been technically like dead since like VF5, and while they were like, you know, dead and in the graveyard, a lot of other fighting games have been like evolving, like, you know, as per case like Street Fighter and Tekken. They have been, you know, technically evolving through Street Fighter 6 and like Tekken 8, you know? So the biggest like challenge for, you know, let's say like a Virtua Fighter to come back, or let's say like, you know, not just like Virtua Fighter, but another example like Soul Calibur or Bloody Roar. Soul Calibur technically came back with 6 as a way to, like, you know, bridge the gap for new players with their mechanics, but it was very like, it wasn't utilized properly. So, and of course that also hindered, and of course, you know, another thing that hindered Soul Calibur's success was, well, 1 is online and 2 was Smash Brothers. So there was not enough chance for Soul Calibur to shine. And similarly with Virtua Fighter, how would they reinvent themselves in like in a modern era? They've been balance adjustmenting and repackaging and reshipping Virtua Fighter 5 as like Ultimate Showdown and Revo that will be coming next month. But that's like an old game. How will they change for the new game to make it more modern and appealing to not just like old school VF heads, but also new fans who are going to be, you know, not real, well, lack of a better term, you know, indoctrinated, but impressed by VF, right? Can't say anything specific how we're going to find a winning strategy, but Yokoyama says, let's say you go to an izakaya with a 4.8 rating on Tablog in the middle of winter. It's a restaurant with only 8 seats and it's full. Would you line up at a restaurant like that? No matter how delicious the food is, I can't wait in line outside. And izayaki where I don't know what when the previous customers will leave. Naturally, the answer, I can't wait, he says. No matter how crowded it is, you'll line up at a food court, right? Because you know a seat will become available, but you can't line up at a restaurant where you don't know when it will become available. So you have to change the restaurant you line up at, or change the whole restaurant. Do that. The analogy is perfect for Ryuga Gotoku Studios. By adding cultures such as the nightlife and underworld, the store has been transformed from an ordinary izakaya into a store where adults gather without changing the genre of the store as a story-oriented action adventure. So, put it into a VF perspective, you see one characteristic. My impression of VF, Yokoyama says, without any perceptions, is that it has simple and stoic battle images. The foundation of a fighting game is impeccable, but it is too simple and sturdy. There are no projectiles. In the sense, the battles are more plain in terms of images than the effects-heavy Ryuga Gotoku. However, on the flip side, I thought this could be a weapon. Although there is a superhuman action, the images of flesh and blood humans fighting each other are just the right to match the realistic story. The realism that Virtua Fighter has been committed to for 30 years may shine even more in realistic cityscapes and world settings. That's quite an exciting story. Yeah, so like, to paraphrase down, right? They tried to make like the new Virtua Fighter a little bit more enticing and a little bit more organic, you know? Instead of just, you know, being like, what was it? Still and stock, you know? Virtua Fighter, like, you know, doesn't have any crazy like character special effects like Tekken or Soul Calibur, right? Virtua Fighter is more on the realism of like real life based martial arts, from karate to Muay Thai to things like that. There's no character that like throws out projectiles from full screen or fires like devil beams or laser beams from their devil eyes, right? Of course, there are like, you know, some things that are right? Make it like a little bit fantastical, like, you know, juggle combos are there, but it's not like characters like juggling or like crazy like anime like moves that you would find in like Tekken or things like that. No, this is like a down-to-earth real like life-based fighting game. That's what shined about Virtua Fighter, is that how can you translate some of like you know, the martial arts that we see in movies and TV shows into gaming, right? And without making it, you know, super over the top. And that's what Virtua Fighter always like shined on, is, you know, there's no crazy special effects. It's just, it's down to earth. It's real. It's real martial arts, just hitting each other and things like that. That's what makes Virtua Fighter shine amongst like other like fighting games. It's the closest thing to have. It's the closest, like, if you want to be accurate on like just like the term fighting game, Virtua Fighter is like definitely the closest one. What will be the core of the new VF? What kind of thing was the core that was found there? And Yamada answers, I'm from a generation that witnessed the movement created by the VF series, and after studying and unraveling what I felt there and the successive titles, I came to the conclusion that the core has maintained throughout is innovativeness. Right? Which is like, you know, that's true for Virtua Fighter. It was innovating, it was cutting edge technology. Even like, you know, film director Steven Spielberg, right? The guy who makes like, what, E.T., War of the Worlds or some shit like that? He saw VF3 and praised it, saying, it's amazing how they can do cross simulation with these graphics. Even Spielberg thought Virtua Fighter was a banger, you know? And that's the thing about Virtua Fighter, is like, yeah, this is like a 3D fighter. It wasn't like a Soul Calibur, because Soul Calibur had its own like draw in the crowd, right? For how smooth it felt and how like beautiful it looked for characters. No, this was like, yeah, it was slow as fuck, right? The OG like Virtua Fighter, and you had like OTGs, but it was fun for that aspects, for those aspects alone. Virtua Fighter was, you know, programmed that way for that reason. It was just more of a art piece, and that art piece continued to evolve to being like, you know, all the way up to like Virtua Fighter 5, with its own mechanics and systems that make it unique from the other 3D fighters. Although it is it's easy to say, but being innovative is difficult. It would have been much simpler in the days when arcade cabinets had the latest circuit boards and you could only play with them. The board themselves were truly packed with the future. Arcade games in the 90s were really packed with cutting-edge technology, right? However, although it is difficult, I think the new VF being innovative is a very important value. I think the keyword realism is also important. There are various ways of thinking about realism, but when the first VF was released, it was a time when kung fu movies were still popular, right? 1990s, right? So we would get like, you know, well, I grew up in like 2000s, but we still had like Shaolin soccer and things like that. There was just like a huge fucking draw, a huge like, you know, pull and demand for, you know, kung fu movies. I mean, hell, Karate Kid. Karate Kid was a really popular fucking film about like an underdog, this like little white kid that moved into town training under a Chinese sensei and learning, you know, crane stance and shit like that and beating the bullies. You know, it was cool to do like kung fu, and even back then we would like import kung fu movies from like video stores and we would like just watch that shit. It was awesome. The appearance of the characters were stylish and realistic. As Yamada would say, I think the two core elements of the game are innovative and realistic. Of course, in terms of gameplay, the sense of urgency of fighting in close combat and the reading of opponents' moves in battle are also different from other works. Right? As just we mentioned, even though VF was a fighting game, it's also required to reading each other's moves through the monitor. In other words, it felt like a game where you communicate with your opponent. Maybe because of that, there were a lot of battles outside of the games. Wide range of players. Culture where good players are cool. It's really amazing that VF functions. That's also why really amazing that VF functions as a tool that can make you emphasize to that extent. That's also what we aim for with Ryuga Gotoku. Sure. Are you gonna do your hair color, bud? I need a lot like sign language. Oh my god, bye. Okay. So sensitive. Of course, what we're actually doing is different, but how to make a player emphasize with the game by creating a sense of immersion and realism is something that both VF and Ryuga Gotoku have in common. Looking back at history, arcade immersive games developed by Sega were also intended to increase the sense of immersion and realism and help players empathize. As I launched this project, I realized that there is something at the root of all the titles that remain at Sega, and that is the simple idea of how to make the players feel like it's their own thing. I think this may be the culture that has been passed down to Sega's creators. On the other hand, it may also be that it is difficult to get into, by the way. People often say that Shenmue and Ryuga Gotoku are similar, but the works have no connection to each other at all. Of course. I mean, you could say that Shenmue is like the blueprint, the code that makes Yakuza games like work, because that's what like Shenmue is, you know? You play as like this like, you know, young lad that saw his father got killed, and you have to search for like a mystic like mirror and avenge your father, sort of shit. I think so. And the whole like game of Shenmue is that you explore, you talk to the citizens of your city/town, and then you find clues and interact with people. You become like, you know, like kind of like a Persona OC, but your own character, but the character is given to you, and you have your own like story. You don't make like decisions or things like that. I don't think so. But that's what like Shenmue is, and that's what later would be the Yakuza games. Right? Just like the freedom, the sandbox, you know. You have a story, but you could just do anything you want. Be like the genes are the same. Same goes for character design. Even if the creators change or the generations change, for some reason the protagonists of Sega games always have their bangs up, so they end up looking a bit similar. Fucking. You value immersion and realism. What reforms will the new VF bring? I fundamentally think that VF is not a difficult game. Bullshit. Players hone their techniques through research, true. So it's easy to think that the controls are difficult, but it's basically controlled with a stick and 3 or 4 buttons. And compared to other fighting games, the basic controls themselves aren't that complicated, and in the end it all comes down to precise frame-by-frame interactions. The end goal of any fighting game is that precise controls are required. However, I think one of the problems is that it's hard to understand the steps leading up to the basic fighting style. There are many players who think, there are no special moves, so I don't know what to do first. I like to lower the hurdles in the process of getting to the bottom of it. So, kind of like, you know, what was it, hints of making accessible controls to feel like maybe players can do something in Virtua Fighter, kind of like a special style. Is that what I'm getting at? There are many things, but at the very least, I definitely want to do something about the parts that are perceived as difficult, because the history up to now, people think it's a game with a high hurdle. I think the weakest point of VF is the characters. The reason why they are fighting is hardly explained in the game. in other fighting games, the character's background is depicted in some way. In a sense, it feels like the series has been driven by the appeal of fighting itself. Since VF was mainly an arcade game, one of the reasons it ended up that way, but I think that's one of the reasons it ended up that way. But I think we have to make an effort to do that. It's an effort to communicate that to players. It could be a story or something like the fun of the story mode. Story mode may be included. So they are going to be making like an immersive and realistic story mode. That's what Yamada-san is kind of like alluding to that of K1. K1 was originally an event started by Ishii, the head of Seido Kaiken Karate organization. The techniques used by K1 fighters are not new, but are traditional karate and kickboxing, which is kind of like K1's like an old Japanese game. That's kind of like what they're saying, a blueprint. Let's see. So if fighting games with Hadoukens and flashy special moves have the entertainment value of professional wrestling, then the entertainment value that VF should aim for is closer to that of K1, right? Just not really like flashy, but just more, you know, low key and like down to earth, something like that, you know. It's not about changing the rules or making the screen more flashy. It's about amplifying the appeal of the matches while keeping them plain and serious. So if my role is to make VF an interesting show, Yamada's role is to pursue the fun of the new VF itself. The project must also function as a bridge connecting the past and future of VF. We plan to spend a long time tackling head-on how to turn the game into a form that people from all over the world can enjoy, and how to bring together the people who have loved VF up until now and the people who will love it in the future. Yep. Basic, like, you know, new fighting game talk, like very similar to like Street Fighter, very similar to Guilty Gear, very similar to Tekken, right? How to make like a new game that will... That's what developers, at least fighting game developers, have to think about moving forward, is how to bring in new players, right? It's always going to be like a constant talk, like going forward, you know? Because you don't want to release like an old game or release like a new game and just cater it just to the competitive crowd or to like the hardcore VF heads or the fighting game series specific heads. It's not going to work that way. We've seen time and time again that like it doesn't work out. Street Fighter V is a known example. Street Fighter V was launched with the intent for competitive play and nothing else. There was no casual play. Hence the decline of Street Fighter V, specifically because it was just catered to that crowd and not really the casuals. Until it got like, until Season 3, which got that, but it should have had that from the get-go, hence why it did so like mixed and even negatively at like, you know, launch. Meaning that VF is a home game, including for PCs. We are considering developing it for home use, and we hope you will think that characters and story aspects will be different from previous arcade games. And the experience will be different from Ryuga Gotoku series, and we intend to make it more innovative, using the drama and technology that the Ryuga Gotoku studios have cultivated. That leads to the part where it doesn't fit into the framework of fighting games. It will definitely be a big game, and I imagine it will contain the original fighting content of VF. They're not thinking about an arcade version of VF at the moment. Just trying to run something of the same quality of today's arcade boards would be a very high hurdle. Technology has improved since the old days. From from the perspective of the development side, how do you think the Virtua Fighter series is perceived by young Japanese game fans and overseas game fans? Surprise to Yamada's surprise, it was well more received than he had expected. There are still not many people who have played it, and it feels like it was a great game, wasn't it? And in Japan, although it was a big hit, once a big hit, it is still not well known amongst young people. We're gonna get something like that if, like, you know, eventually a Soul Calibur Resurrection comes back, or a new Bloody Roar comes back. Right, that's gonna be the eventual thing. It's gonna be the same as what these guys are gonna be pressed on about in PR about Virtua Fighter. Hey, isn't that old game, right? It was a great game, right? Back when I was a little kid. So how can you make that into a game that will appease like fans? Well, more specifically, fans will be pleased, but how will it attract younger people that are born after that era, you know? And that's always a hurdle. So while I value the community of active players, I always tell them start from scratch. There are many people around me who really love VF, but when I ask them, do you know the current version of VF? Most of them don't know. They know VF, but they don't play it. Why don't they play it? I think one of the answers is that the current young generation doesn't play it. The things that are currently popular and the things that the young generation is playing are seen by everyone regardless of age, and they come into contact with them in some way. So first of all, it has to be something that appeals to the younger generation. It has to be a title that exceeds the generation that used to play VF. It can't be either one or the other. I think that's like a spot on like answer, right? This is like so like, you know, hitting on us to a nerve. It's crazy, right? The things that are currently popular and the things that the young generation is playing are seen by everyone regardless of age. You can't tell me a more truer statement like that than like Tekken. Once again, I love Tekken. It's pretty cool, but it's the most popular game there is. Everybody and their mama is playing Tekken, right? Younger people are like playing Tekken. It's kind of like, in my honest opinion, feels like the most easiest fighting game to get into. Plus, it's also, I think it's like a fad thing, you know? Remember back then when like Street Fighter was really like popping off with 6 and everybody was playing Street Fighter 6? Now that shit is like passed over. Now everybody, like even after like Tekken, sorry, not even after like Tekken, but when Tekken 8 launched, it still remained popular. There's still like TikToks that I would see of people playing Tekken. It's crazy. I open up Twitter and there's so much like, outside of Street Fighter, outside of Street Fighter, yeah, Tekken is like pretty popular. So the challenge for Yokoyama is that, yeah, Virtua Fighter is going to be good, right? It's going to be good for those fans specifically, but is it going to be good for the new gen or people that haven't played or touched Virtua Fighter but only heard it through like rumors and stuff? There has to be like, you know, a formula that the developers have to come up with in order for their game to be like, you know, selling. That's like the biggest like hurdle. So you have to think of a way that, of course, yeah, fans will automatically eat it up. But what about the new kids on the block? To be honest, I think it might be difficult for old fans to actually play the new VF considering their age and environment. That's also true too, right? That's the other side of the spectrum when you make like a new fighting game, right? If you make like a new fighting game, you're gonna essentially like detach yourself from the old game, and with the old game comes the old heads of those like players that have been stuck to them ever since, right? Tekken, back to like Tekken, another example. When Tekken 8 came out, a lot of people were pissed about Tekken 8 because now they have to like change up their game plan because new Tekken 8 mechanics of heat shits, heat engagers, heat healing. Now they have to think differently about it, and something new is going to be scary. That's not just in, you know, video games, but just in general, regardless. You have to like adapt and change in order for yourself to, you know, stay relevant. If you are like a Tekken fan, you gotta stay with whatever's like, you know, current and popping. You can't just be like an old head and stay in your basement forever. There will always be like an influx of change, and unfortunately so, you have to like, you know, keep changing. Otherwise, how will you grow and evolve? I remember not Arslan, but a few people on Twitter were just bitching and moaning about like Tekken 8, that we have to like, you know, change up now. Until like, you know, what was it? After like a year of Tekken 8, people are getting used to Tekken 8 now. But even then, let's say like Tekken 9 comes out, people are going to start bitching and moaning about Tekken 9, and they have to like change their patterns now because the Tekken 9 new game will have new features, maybe even keep heat, but it's a new game and I have to like, you know, change myself, and I don't want to change myself, you know? I want to talk about, back to the interview, I want to talk about VF as a common topic with young people. Young people can get absorbed in the new VF, and it can connect people of a wide range of generations. That's one of my goals. If I just wanted young people to play it, there would be no reason to use the name VF. If that happens, parents and children will talk about VF. I think it's essential to make a hit. In fact, the same can be said not only for players, but also for creators. For example, at Sega today, there's a staff who are actively developing VF. There are people from the generation who played it, and there are young staff who don't know anything about it. Even if there is like such a cultural gap, I feel it is good for creators to create something that can be talked about at the same time. Yeah, but basically just like trying to make VF that is like the usual spiel with a lot of other like fighting game companies trying to make like a new game. How do you create like that harmonious, like, you know, mesh, that bridge that not only old fans but new fans will like? Not only the parents but the children will like it, you know? Since it is a fighting game, it seems like it's possible that beginners might be disappointed when they are beaten up by veterans. Oh, that's a good question. It's frustrating to lose, and for beginners that's unpleasant, isn't it? Yeah, very true. I think that whether we can follow that is an important point in making a home game, and I want to make sure that we can come up with ideas to make it enjoyable for a variety of people. I think that what we have cultivated at Ryuga Gotoku Studio will be one of our weapons. There are lots of like examples, especially like in the modern day, of how to get acclimated into into a fighting game. Street Fighter was, well, Guilty Gear was kind of like the first steps to do it, with like breaking down like Gatlings. I mean, I hate that they broke down Gatlings, but I like it how they just approached it for new players only, where each button corresponds to a certain like purpose in mid combat, you know? And not long after that, Guilty Gear became quickly like rising and selling, because it didn't just appeal to Guilty Gear fans but also to new players, because new players quickly understood how Guilty Gear was played at a rudimentary level. And after understanding, now you can like tackle, let's say, like the goats of Guilty Gear competitive play, like Hotashi and like so many others. And now we got like Youngblood, like Nitro, who like was in Dragon Ball but is now playing like Guilty Gear, you know? And so there's another one which is like Street Fighter 6, where Street Fighter 6 had like an immersive like single player story mode, but all it is essentially like a tutorial for you to like, you know, get a handle of Street Fighter combat and controls. And you even have like, what was it, dynamic and modern controls, which made accessibility so vital to Street Fighter. And now people can play Street Fighter with the relative of ease. And also back to like Tekken. Tekken also had special style. And they even have like an arcade like World Tour-esque mode where you can learn the controls and how to move and how to like do things in Tekken. So how do you approach that with Virtua Fighter, which although Yamada and Yokoyama says that like they say the opposite for Virtua Fighter, that it can be a difficult game to learn. How do we approach that for new players that don't really want to like, you know, learn the controls, but just want to like jump in? Because there are people that will like do that eventually. There are people that, I don't give a fuck about training mode, I just want to like jump in. Not saying that's like a bad thing, but I'm just saying there are players that are like that. And so if you get beat up, let's say like online, and you don't know what's going on, then you'll be incentivized to like, okay, I'm losing, how do I make myself better? And so one of the goals for Yamada and Yokoyama at Sega or Ryuga Gotoku is how to make it immersive. How to make it, you know, easy on new players getting into Virtua Fighter, how to actually, you know, play in neutral, in mid-combat. And that's like one of their missions, you know? How to make it like enjoyable to like learn VF and progress. Strengths of VF, creating a new VF at the Ryuga Gotoku studio. You can answer as much as you want, but apart from the dramatic element you mentioned earlier, can you tell us? Utilize the parts unique to the Ryuga Gotoku studio. Creating towns and backgrounds that excels in creating worlds where there is a solid world that exists. Culture and life. Creating backgrounds in a broad sense will bring out the realism of the characters. Yokoyama launched a project in 3 months, but no matter what plan you write, it will lack persuasiveness without visuals. I want to make a video like this. An incredible town in just a month. The quality and speed the project gave confidence to move forward with the project, and even I, the planner, saw the video and thought, I want to play it. Project Century? PJ Century. Yeah, and they did a pretty good job like showcasing like, you know, just like showcasing that one stage for that VF teaser. It looks so fucking organic. Oh my god, bro. Like you actually feel like you're in a rural-esque like Chinatown. You know, you're like, it almost looks like you're in the red light district. By the way, the new VF and Project Century are being produced using different game engines. Oh, so they're not going to be the same. Okay, that's cool. No comments. Yakuza, new VF and Yakuza 8 Gaiden Pirates in Hawaii. Let's take a look at the most interesting points of the new VF. First, regarding controls, what will happen to the conventional lever +3 or 4 button controls in the new VF? The thing I think we need to keep in mind about the controls is to make them simple. This is also connected to the original idea that the original VF had a stick and +3 buttons, and didn't really require overcomplicated controls. However, at this stage, I don't think there's any reason why it has to be 3 buttons for punch, kick, and guard. The priority is that anyone can play easily. That said, there are fans who have played previous VF's games So I want to make the controls take those people into consideration. We have to optimize it for playing with the controller. Think that in the end, players will be able to play with those controls they prefer. Okay, so they're gonna be, you know, retooling the control scheme of Virtua Fighter, because Virtua Fighter is like just movement plus punch, kick, and guard, 3-button. It's the weirdest one out of, like, you know, most of the fighting games that we have seen up until now, which is like 4-button or 6-button fighter, right? So I can't wait to see what they'll like make. Has basically had battles with ring outs. Will the new VF game have concept of ring outs? I like ring outs, so I don't think they'll disappear. Nice. Maybe there will be battles that aren't one-to-one. I leave that to your imagination. Doesn't seem to be in Japan. It's a place that's not in Japan. The new VF seems to have a dramatic quality, but the world setting is connected to previous works. If so, I'm also curious about how much time has passed since the previous work. I think it's important to inherit the traditional settings, so the settings of the previous works and the new VF are connected. By playing new VF, we plan to clarify parts that were not clear in previous work settings alone. Keep this a secret. Right? And we got like Akira. Oops, sorry. Oh god, where is it? Ah, right here. You got like Akira, which is like the new design, like right here. The woman is not Sarah, but a character named Stella. So I thought that was like Sarah Brand. Oh, so named Stella, okay. There will be old characters and new characters. I'm worried about characters who are already old, like Lao and Shen. It looks like there will be a mix of old and new characters. What will happen to Lao and Shen? I hope you look forward to see that too. Leave it to your imagination. Are you considering adding characters through something like a season pass? Have not been decided at all, but since we are trying to create a new type of game, I think that our approach to season passes may even be completely different than other fighting games. I can promise you that for beginners, we will place the utmost importance to make the battle section interesting. Can't really say on when the new VF will be released. Just wanted to make sure. You know. It's not just a sequel, so the hurdles for development are high. It's a re-sequel. It will be repeated scrap and build process, and even the part I mentioned earlier, what should be the control system be, right? Intention to run Legacy Virtua Fighter project in parallel. Oh, Legacy Virtua Fighter project? What's that? But the Legacy Virtua Fighter project was launched to allow core fans to play with enthusiasm until its release. Being led by Aoki, chief producer of Virtua Fighter Esports, and oh, talking about like Revo, I think, right? Starting with Tetsujin. Are there plans to hold this world tournament in the new VF someday? Virtua Fighter Open Championship, that's right. Yeah, they'll be hosting a new like tournament or something. Global official Discord. Yeah, talking about the new will never be something half-baked. As we produced with this project, Yu Suzuki was one of the people I wanted to talk to. I think that when I joined the company, they were working on Shenmue, but we didn't have any direct contact. This time I had a proper greeting and explained the concept of the new VF. And he said, that's something I thought about a long time ago. He also said, this is good. Yu Suzuki is a legendary creator and also famous for not compromising when it comes to creative things. Jensen Huang. Alright. Early VF was received by people who aren't so-called game fans, such as office workers and slightly rebellious people. Okay. But essentially, right, I think the rest of the stuff is just like going over repeated like content. I'm just like paraphrasing here and there. This is like stuff that we may have like seen in like in a direct, but essentially what we got like the gist out of like details of the new VF is gonna be new story mode, right? That's gonna be very immersive, and it's gonna be kind of like a world tour a la Street Fighter 6, where it's going to be teaching you, but also like, you know, you get to learn more about like the lore and the world of Virtua Fighter, and not just like, you know, learning like a tutorial, which is what World Tour is. Aside from that, like the Yakuza like studio, the Ryuga Gotoku studio, are going to be helping along that, because it's going to make like the worlds a little bit more fleshed out than it already is. I've not played a Yakuza game. I would love to at a later point in time, but yeah, like the Yakuza games are so like goated because it makes like the underground, the red light districts of Japan so like organic, on top of like, you know, very weird and not very weird, but very interesting and complex like stories flesh out, you know. And controls are going to be very accessible. That's not going to deter old fans, but also like welcome new fans. And characters are going to be, you know, taking the Street Fighter 6 route. They're going to be like old. They're going to be like, you know, characters that have like aged up a little bit, like we saw with Akira, that he has like a beard or some shit and a top hat, like a Chinese hat. And we got like new characters that are seemingly like they look like old characters, but are definitely like revitalized in the new like era. So it's definitely going on a lot along the lines of a Street Fighter 6 route in terms of like how the characters will look for the new gen. And of course, right, the graphics, because they've been saying immersion and realism, immersiveness and realism, how to make the game organic. Probably it's gonna be like on a technical like jargon, like that shit's gonna be like 100 gigs, or maybe even like 50 or 65 or 66, something like that. It's gonna be along like those lines. But yeah, Virtua Fighter is like definitely back, and they got a big like job to fill in order to make like this new Virtua Fighter a banger. And it already is a banger for new not new heads, but for old heads. But the biggest job is how will it like draw in new fans? And for that, we will have to see like in the later months, right? Because, you know, Virtua Fighter got announced, so we won't see like a release date. That's very optimistic, but we'll eventually get like, you know, breadcrumbs of VF like in the coming months, right? Maybe we can see more of VF probably at the Summer Games Fest or something like that, you know? That's where my brain is like going. But yeah, I would be down to like make VF content just to like get reacclimated. Oh, not reacclimated, just to get acclimated into VF. I would be down to like run like emulation software and play old VF and see how it is, instead of just, you know, waiting for like maybe Revo or maybe even like the new one, just to explore VF. What's the lore? Like how I did with KOF, and I got hooked into KOF, right? I watched like a big ass like lore video by Neo Geo Now, great guy. But I definitely am down to learn like a retrospective of VF and want to learn more about it. So the future looks bright for VF, all I'm saying, and I would 100% like support it. It's like, once again, as I said in one of my videos, the old king is back.